Yeah, I know, it's Jay. Must be an unboxing. Not this time. I actually have a book I got way back at Comicpalooza that I'm finally going to review. So, stick around. Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you're having a safe and awesome week. Yeah, I've been meaning to do this book for since July. I've just been busy, and then we've had a bunch of Kickstarter stuff come in. Now I have 2 issues of this book, but I'm only going to go over the first one. And I'm going to show you the cover of it, because I got it right here. This is Retribution. This is, crack it open so I can tell you, Retribution Chapter 1, Purpose. The creator, writer, and letters were by R. Robert Garcia. Pencils, inks, and colors, Gualazi. Please correct me. I am terrible with names and I apologize. The cover was done by Gualazi. Inside cover art by Rodney Ford. Developmental editor Nicole DeAndrea. Copy editor Vez. Associate editor Eric Sepulveda. Variant covers by Gualazi, Kevin Keane, Kaija Lawley, and Scott Oakley. And this is from Cheesy Comics, and we're definitely going to post a link in the description to this. Little backstory on this. Like I said, I got it at Comicpalooza. Now, what had happened was, Dan Price, Bigfoot Knows Karate, was going to be there, and this was my first con. So I walked over to his table. You know, I didn't want to bother him too much because I know they're there to sell books, interact with fans, all that other stuff. So I didn't want to bother them too much. But, I'm standing in front of Dan's table, and I happen to move off to the side a little bit, and that particular cover, I'll show it again, actually. This cover right here, it just caught my eye. I mean, look at it. Just caught my eye. And this is, I think, the basic, I don't want to say basic like it's a bad thing, cover A, I guess you might call it. So, there was very just... Every cover looked beautiful, but this was kind of in my price range, if that makes more sense. But the cover caught my eye, and Robert was there, and man, when he talked about it, I'm gonna warn everybody before I get too into the review. This is a heavy book. It deals with trafficking. It deals with sexual assault. It deals with suicide. So if those are things that upset you, you don't have to worry about watching the rest of the video. I'm not going to take any offense to it. I am not out here to offend anybody. So if these are things that you are wary of, by all means, you can stop the video right now. And totally cool. Because this book is heavy, but it's not so heavy-handed where it's a hard thing for me to explain. It's done in a way that feels like it's not exploitive, I guess you could say. At least for me, it's not, and I'm positive that wasn't Robert's intention with it, but it does deal with these issues. The book takes place in Texas. There's going to be some spoilers. Like I said, when he told me about this, it sold me on the book, and I bought that cover, and he was gracious enough to give me Chapter 2, which as soon as I got done with this one, I was like, man, I'm so glad he gave me that, because then I read through that one. But I'm only going to be talking about the first issue. I know, Jay, you've had like since July to do a big one, but I only want to talk about the first one for now. There might be, and I make no promises, there might be a issue down the road, or when it gets to the trade, I'll have Sean read it with me. Sean is so much better at these reviews. I have to write everything down. My memory just isn't that great. But we might do the whole story. But let's get into this one. It, like I said, it takes place in Texas, in Austin, I believe. And we meet our character, R. He's waking up in a daze, and he's like, what you gather from the opening pages of his story is he is committed suicide, and he's brought back by I believe her name is Chai, or she might have been a part of him coming back, something like that. I'm still kind of confused on it, because I also don't think Chai is really Chai, but that's a story for another time with that one, because I believe you see that in the second issue. But anyway, so he's waking up in like this haze, and the first thing he notices is his body's different, his hands are different. He just feels so disoriented, and he goes and he looks in the mirror, and he sees, so let me grab this again, he sees this staring back at him. This is what he looks like now. So, you know, he's basically like, what's happened to me? What have you done to me? But then there is some comedy sprinkled throughout this, because he's like, holy hell, look how yoked I am. Like, he's impressed with how he looks now. So there's a little bit of comedy thrown in. It's not just a dour book, even though it has these heavy themes in it. So there is some comedy in it. So basically he's become this vigilante that was brought back to exact his and Chai's revenge. Revenge, not so sure of in this issue yet, but there's other things he has to do before he can get to that revenge. And the next thing you know, we're whisked away to, I want to say it says it's downtown Austin, I think is where the first place starts, or the first part of the story starts. And you know, it's just dancing crowd, and apparently he can like see into their minds, I guess, and see things that they're thinking, things that they're planning on doing. It's kind of a weird page, but it just kind of gives you a brief, like, he's looking over the crowd, he sees people doing things, and he ends up at this really crummy apartment complex. And right off the bat, this was, like I said, it's heavy. It's heavy, so here comes. It's a mother and her daughter, and the mom is basically renting the daughter out for an hour to a man. So she's the first person that gets attacked, is the mother, and R kills her, and he has this weird adrenaline rush, this weird, like, he feels more powerful. So I'm guessing that, I think they explain it later in the book, that every time he kills someone, he gets stronger and his mind gets sharper. Like, he gets a little more, I don't want to say a little more intelligent, but his mind gets stronger. So we get into the room, and the creepy freaking man is asking the little girl to sit on his lap, but instead R sneaks up behind him and grabs him. He tells the little girl, I believe her name is Gigi, Gigi, close your eyes, get out of here, don't look. As soon as she leaves, blam, R slaughters this dude, slaughters him. And again, he just feels powerful. It's weird. He says it's like a weird energy surge. Well, right after that, he just immediately just to another place, and I think it's Donna, Texas. I think that's where he ends up. And he's like, "Am I teleporting? How am I getting around?" Like, he doesn't understand how he's getting around so fast. But you see a woman up against a truck, and I don't know if it's a trucker or just there's a dude that's fixing to sexually assault her. Or gets up on him, grabs him, like, just massacres this dude. Well, this time, other people see him do this, because apparently before, nobody saw him kill the mom. And there were people around, but like nobody noticed he killed the mom. The guy, there wasn't anybody else in the room. But apparently people see him do this, and he's like, "Why are you calling the police on me? This guy was fixing to assault this lady." And then the next thing you know, he just like, it's a weird teleportation thing, and he's back in the apartment. And for me, what it feels like is he never left the apartment. It kind of has a Freddy Krueger feeling to it, like he enters people's minds and does this stuff. But then again, I'm trying to figure out how the other people can see him then. Like, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that somebody else who has read this book, or if Robert himself can comment and let me know, because I just had to reread the first issue because it's been a while since I've read it, and I haven't read the second issue again just yet. So the answer is probably in the second issue. Maybe I'm just looking too deep into this. Maybe he honestly just teleports, and I'm thinking it's like this whole he enters their minds and kills them, and if he's too violent with it, other people can see it. I don't know. But when he gets back to the apartment, you see Chaya's there. I think it's either Chai or Chi, but it was his girlfriend or his wife. And like, she's telling him, we have all these people we got to take care of first till we can get our revenge. And he, like I said, there's some humor sprinkled throughout this. There's one joke that it kind of lands with me, kind of doesn't. I'm going to be real honest. But she's talking to him, and he's looking down at his crotch, which there's nothing there, like a Ken doll. And he's like, "How am I supposed to pee?" When she's talking about this stuff. Now, like I said, I kind of chuckled, but at the same time, I was like, okay. But then, he says something about, "Cool, you brought my alopecia over to this body too." But she tells him, you need to focus. We have more people we have to take care of before we can get to our revenge. And this issue basically ends with her saying, "We have a lot of work and a lot of retribution to hand out." And the last page is an old man in a wheelchair, and basically ours, like, "You got to be effing kidding me." And that's where it ends. Now, looking back through it, like I said, you won't see that because I'll edit that out. Yeah. Looking back through it, it looks like his mind connects to his victims, and they sense his thoughts. And he becomes not only visible to them, but everyone else around them, and that makes him vulnerable. So, again, it's a very heavy themed book, very dark themed book. There is some humor in it. The book will not be for everyone, and that's totally understandable. For me, I thought it was excellent. Issue 2, like I said, I'm gonna have to reread, but I distinctly remember when I finished this the first time, I was like, man, I'm so glad Robert gave me that second chapter, because as soon as I got done with this, and probably after this video, I'm gonna reread it. Like I said, it's a heavy book. It deals with real themes, trafficking, sexual abuse, sexual assault. and it's very hard for me to explain how it doesn't feel exploitive. It feels like how this day and age in comics we are taking real themes from our world, real themes that are happening, racism and sexual assault and sexism and things like that, and writing them into books. I think some of this stuff is important to talk about. Like I said, it's not going to be for everyone. I thought it was great. I can't wait for Robert to do more. Robert and his team to do more. Hopefully, for those of you out there that watch the video and check out the comic, I'm hoping you can kind of word it better than I can. I'm not very good when it comes to getting my thoughts exactly how I'm trying to express them. But just know, I think it's a great book. I think Robert did an excellent job bringing these themes to the forefront and not making a mockery out of it, I guess, is something that I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But that is Retribution. Again, go to cheesycomicshop.com. We will post the links everywhere, plus links to Robert's Instagram. Like I said, when I met him, super cool guy. Took the time to talk to me. I really appreciated that. I could have just been another sale. He could have just been like, "Hey, buy the book and move along." Which, funny enough, a lot of people at these cons aren't like that. They'll sit and they'll talk to you about their books, and like I said, it's no fault of Robert's if I didn't get what he was going for with this book. I just thought it was a very cool book. But yeah, if you stuck around this long through all my rambling, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's hard for me to put into words how I feel about things sometimes. So hopefully this wasn't confusing to you. Hopefully I worded good enough. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Sean will have something fun on. And I keep saying on either side, but he puts the logo over on one side and puts the video clicky thingy on the other side. So either way, click one of those things at the end. If you like the video, thank you. But make sure to leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, just all that fun stuff. Even if you don't, I still appreciate you watching the video and taking time out of your day, maybe have it on in the background or whatever. But now most of you see why I don't do reviews that much. I prepped and it still sounded weird. But anyway, everyone, y'all take care, stay safe, take care of each other, be good to people. It's a weird world right now. But hopefully I can catch you in the next one. Later, tots.